funny though, because now that we are getting older, it's just one of those things where it's like you want a video game that you can just play, as opposed
Yeah.
like a lot of games. Like I'm not gonna say like games are harder these days or there's too much into it, but I was
Right.
talking to Parp, Drew, Starter Pack, all of them. Why I started playing when he got me into Xenosaga was because I want to play Persona 5. I really do, but
I do too.
I
Well,
just
I mean,
can't get through
I want to play
everything.
3 and 4
Yeah,
first.
yeah, right. But a lot of the times is I don't know, like, why do you guys want me to, oh, hey, it's Tuesday and it's 12 o'clock. Make sure that on next Wednesday at 7 p.m., you got to talk
Yeah.
to Asuka because you want to make sure that you get that level perk. I'm like, what? Can I just
Yeah,
play a
the
game and just do stuff?
social link stuff is intimidating. Like I've started and restarted Persona 3 maybe like 5 times at this point
Mm-hmm.
because like, I had it on PS3 because it was available digitally.
Yeah.
They did the release on the Switch and I'm just like, "Oh, finally I can play play Persona 3 and actually stick with it." But it was like the PSP version
Mm-hmm.
where it was way more visual novel, and it
Yeah.
was, I think, the
I
only
heard
3D
that.
animations were when you were in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
But I have Xbox Game Pass, so I have access to Persona 3 Reload, so that's how I'm gonna commit to the game and finally play it all the way to the end.
I heard that, like, as
But
they were joking about Persona, like, Persona is a visual novel hidden as an RPG
but
game.
it,
Because I think there's
well,
newer one,
yeah,
like, what
that's
is
the
it?
thing.
Meso something? Meso Forte? I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Meso Reload? I don't fucking know. It's like, that one has more of the action pack. Like, I played 5,
Oh yeah,
and I only fought things for, like, 10 minutes for 2 hours. And I'm like,
yeah,
what is happening? Hey, make sure you go to school. Make sure that you
yeah,
take the train and close the door every night. Okay, thanks, Uncle, I guess.
yeah. Like I mean, I love the concept of Persona
Mhm.
with like actually having the thing, like the creature or whatever,
Yeah.
the persona.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool. That's a
Persona!
cool.
That's the best. That's
Yeah,
my favorite
that's
part
a
about the game when they
cool.
yell.
I mean, I'll come back to it at some point, but I actually do need to get more familiar with RPGs as I'm like running through
Yeah.
Final Fantasy because I'm hoping that I can branch off to stuff like Star Ocean
Mhm.
and Persona
Yeah.
and some of those more classic ones like Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
That's another one I want to play and
same though.
never did.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
same. I remember playing like with my cousin's emulator at the time on
Hmm.
freaking on like on the computer. This was like probably like early 2000s. And
Yeah.
they would play Chrono Trigger. Like they didn't have the SNES because we at the time I think we had the N64 and
Hmm.
the PlayStation, but
Yeah.
like no one had an SNES that they wanted to bring to our grandma's house for the summer. And at the same time, I think we all had Sega Genesises.
And
This
I
is
would have done that.
what's that?
I would have bought everything I had.
If we already had it,
Everything at
like
my disposal.
I think we already had it, but like I said, I don't think anyone we just missed the mark of
Hmm.
of being able to bring an SNES because we weren't like old enough, so to speak. But as I said, we
Yeah.
had the PS1, we had the N64. So of course you want to play WrestleMania 2000. Nobody wants to fucking play
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger because we'll all have to watch you play it, and we're just no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah. You want
cousin was
something
able to get an
you can play.
emulator for our grandparents' computer, and we played Chrono Trigger that way. I just remember the singing robot. What is it? The fucking Gato,
Robot.
whatever his name is. He
I
has
don't
metal
know.
joints. You beat him up and you win 15 silver points. He had like a song that went with it.
Oh, okay.
No, but I know what you mean because there are some things like I said, I'm playing. I always want to call it Xenogears. It's not Xenogears because apparently that's the fighting.
Xenosaga.
Yeah, Xenogears is the fighting game. Xenosaga is the RPG.
Yeah.
And I'm playing it, and I remember I asked Porp, I'm like, does it have all this shit that I have to deal with? Like, do I have to care about like relationships? Do I have to care about like, oh, make sure you talk to this person? Blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's kind of straightforward. I'm like, cool. I kind of want a straightforward RPG where it's like, hey,
Yeah.
you want to do the side quest? Sure, why not? What is it? Kill 5 slimes. Okay, great. You go
Yeah,
into the thing and it says track the thing. It shows me where all the slimes are at. Perfect. But man, sometimes some of these
yeah.
games, I'll start, and I remember talking about this a while back ago. I was playing Witcher. I like when I was in,
Oh yeah,
like I like Witcher 3. I never finished it, of course. The game's fucking long. But I remember
yeah.
when I first got Witcher 2, everything was free on Xbox 360. I got in. I'm like, this is so sick. And I got in, and it's like, okay, what do you want? What kind of armor you want for your left shoulder pad? I'm like, I can't do this right now. I can't. What do you mean? Do you want this sword that's 1+ better than this one? I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like the first 10 minutes. I'm like, I can't. I put it away. I just never picked it up. But when I was in the mood for an RPG, like when I got into 3, I was like, oh hell yeah,
Yeah.
30 hours later, I'm like, this game's awesome. But then of course I dropped off because
Yeah.
attention span as an older person gets kind of tough.
Yeah. Yeah, like I still haven't beat Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and
Yeah,
it's been out for a year.
I haven't even beat the first one, so don't even worry about it.
Yeah, like well, I mean, other games also came out.
Yeah.
Like I was juggling that and Helldivers 2.
Oh hell yeah, we
So
played a
that
little bit
that
of that.
that that had my full attention for like a good 6 months. And I still play it regularly. It's just that, I also went back to playing other games like
Yeah,
um and I still haven't completed a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm still at the end of Act 1.
bro, I'm on Act 3. I'm pretty sure I did most of it, and it's just yeah, I'll get back to it. It's fine. I'll get
Yeah.
back to it. Never got back to it.
Meanwhile, like Nate is insane
Yeah.
with RPGs. Like he has like 5 separate playthroughs running because he wants to romance every character.
Oh, he one of them.
So
He
he's
one of those. It's just I need
yeah,
everything.
yeah, they're yeah. It's what they do. It's what they're doing with this. It's what they've done with Pokemon because
Romance every
they
Pokemon.
still
Gotcha.
no
I'm just fucking. I'm fucking with you.
like they fill the Pokedex and then they need to level everyone to 100.
Damn. Damn.
I'm like, you're crazy.
Dean Dambros. I don't know if I could do that. I like
I'm like,
I can play
you're
and I'm
crazy.
good.
And they're like, what? Yeah, what's your point? I'm like, all right.
It's funny because a lot of the times, I'll play an RPG or something. I will level my guy up enough just to beat the character, and that's it. I don't need it anymore. Ryan, there's a great spell that comes out. Yeah, maybe if I get there, but if not, if it's enough to beat the boss, I'm
Yeah,
happy with that. Or I got
yeah,
enough out of like everyone all together, and I'll be fine. But
yeah.
you're telling me, yo, I'm not a fully level somebody up. No, nah, I can't do that. My attention
Yeah.
span, even as a
I
kid,
don't.
is not happening. As
Oh
an
yeah.
adult, even more so, because now I have to think about other
Well,
shit.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier now to play RPGs than it
Hmm.
was when I was a kid. Um, because I didn't understand the mechanics of an RPG because, I always played like action games and platformers and shooters. So,
Yeah.
I would always, try to brute force
Yep. Of
everything and,
course.
and RPGs like yeah, even still now I play pretty recklessly. Like I rush into a fight and I try to just
Bash it.
beat on everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell yeah.
even when I play D&D, I never play like a wizard or anything. I'm always the fighter.
Yeah. No. Fuck
But
that.
but
Unga
but,
plus
but
bunga equals win.
no, exactly. But more recently, I've been trying to warm up to spellcasters. Like
Mhm.
I'm about to start a game with some of my friends, and I opted to play the magic user. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's try it.
That was me with Baldur's Gate 3. I actually played a bard because I'm just like, I'll
Oh,
try it. I mean, like, let's see what happens.
yeah,
I'll be support guy. Like, it seems like fun as opposed to swing sword guy.
yeah, yeah.
And
Like I think
I opened up to it a little bit. It's fun. Like I always tell everybody, like that's a lot of like, oh Ryan, why don't you like Harry Potter? Blah blah. Because I don't like magic. Magic doesn't do
yeah,
anything for me. It's
yeah,
not a Harry Potter. It's just like between that and Lord of the Rings. Like I'm looking at Lord of the Rings. I'm looking at my boy Gimli. He's swinging his axe. I'm all for it. And then here's
yeah,
Gandalf and Sauron fighting. I'm like, what are they doing?
yeah.
Like
But
watch me
you
spin it
know
in a
what?
circle. And I'm like, that's
Yeah, but
cool. It's a cool fight. Like, I don't think I could ever get to a video game where I could do this, have the patience to do anything that cool.
Yeah.
Nah, hey, hi guys, an axe. He's gonna swing it in the circle and hit 3 people. Oh, that's sick. Let's do that one.
Yeah.
Does it trip the
Yeah.
person? Awesome. All right, jump his ass.
Yeah. I'm pretty caveman-y when it comes to
That's how I beat
comes to
Elden Ring.
video games.
That's literally
Oh
how I
my
beat Elden
god,
Ring. Like
dude.
I like I said, dude, I'm telling people like this is the reason why I'm local himbo because I don't know if the
Yeah.
game messed up. I didn't know how to use any of my shit, extra shit. Like so it was just jump, heart attack, roll,
Yeah.
jump, heart attack. Oh, broke his posture. Jump, heart attack. And just that forever. Oh, I'm not strong enough. Okay, fight everything, fight everything. All right, go back, do the same exact thing.
Maybe someday I'll be able to stick with that game.
Oh, that was the first FromSoft game I ever beat. And
Really?
like it got my attention.
Yeah.
It was funny. I was playing Street Fighter 6. Was it Street Fighter 6? No, it was Guilty Gear. I was playing a shit ton of Guilty
Oh,
Gear.
okay.
Homeboy got me into FGC. Shouts out to Bobby. And I was like, oh, I was in it. I was in it to win. I'm doing all this shit. Elden Ring came out, and I was like, I don't want to play with you anymore. And just 100 hours later, I was like,
Wow.
oh, Soulsborne games are great. I actually stopped playing. I beat that game. When I got my PS5, I played Dark Souls. Was it Demon Souls?
Yeah, they did a remake of
I
Demon
beat that
Souls.
one too. And oh my god, I have like the funniest
Now you got to
story.
get Armored Core 6.
I do have Armored Core 6.
I got to pick that back up.
That's what
The
yeah, go ahead.
Armored Core is so fun, but it's so brutal.
It is.
Like especially like the PS2 era, because I have all the PS2 ones. Like I have Armored Core 2, Armored Core 3, Another Age. I
Mm.
don't have Last Raven though. I should see if I can find that. But like those Armored Cores, and Ace Combat is fun too if you've ever played that.
My cousin, like I said, that was one of the games that I grew up with that my cousin had. He's just Ace
Yeah,
Combat. Like, oh, this is hard. It's fun, but it's hard.
yeah, it's fun.
It's funny. I was never a like mech or like plane guy.
Yeah.
Like, never really
Oh,
did anything for me. But like,
me.
yeah, I know. I know you're talking all your fucking Gundam shit and everything.
My Gundam stuff, and it's because like being into Star Wars, especially when I was young, yeah, I thought the Jedi were cool, but my thing was the starfighters.
Mhm.
I wanted to be an X-wing pilot, so I've always loved starfighters and like fighter jets and
Mhm.
stuff. So like flight sim, well, not like full immersive flight sim, but stuff like X-wing versus TIE Fighter and Star Fox, games like that. Oh
Yeah,
my god, so
really, really was
good.
your stick. Speaking of the X, was that your favorite ship or fucking whatever you call it,
Yeah, I
plane
would
in the
say so.
game?
I would honestly go as far as say it's probably my favorite vehicle in fiction.
Oh yeah, sick.
Yeah, it's my favorite vehicle in fiction, followed by the Starship Enterprise.
For a second, I had to think about that. My dumbass had to think about it. I'm
Come on, man.
like, I know exactly what it looks like, but my brain was like, all
Yeah,
right, put it together. Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, and yeah, like I also love the Millennium Falcon. That's a
Mhm.
given, but like it's very very close between that and the Enterprise.
Yeah,
But especially now because I'm on a huge Star Trek kick right now.
that's something that I wanted to kind of get on because I was thinking about Star Trek, and a lot of people started talking about it and doing the same exact thing. And I was been thinking about it because, look, it was popular back in the day, and it's still popular now. And
Yeah,
literally, I've never heard anyone, in all honesty, being like, "I can't believe what they're doing with Star Trek. Can you believe it?"
some people are they're
Yeah,
trying to do
but
that.
they're not that loud. Like the
No, I know.
I think most people get mad about it was like during the movie era.
It was well that and now because there have been they're actively making like new TV series
Mhm.
for Paramount Plus, and the it's woke crowd is
Juds and
still
everything.
making a
Yeah,
noise, but it hasn't been painted like it like it very nearly is with Star Wars. Like I
yeah,
say very nearly, but honestly that's more wishful thinking.
yeah.
Like it's I don't want to say it's damaged goods, but but those people are really really fucking loud.
Yeah. No, I
And
get that.
this is like a bit of a grim comment, but I saw something uh talking about how like fascism infiltrates cultures
Yep.
and takes over stuff, and I'm like, and I kind of thought about that. I'm just like, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah. Uh,
Because so much right-wing bullshit got mixed in with Star Wars, especially after some of the sequel movies.
yeah.
And I feel like, and other fans are just so tired, but I feel like we need to keep pushing back
Mhm.
because we can't let those people fucking have it. Star Wars, no way, no fucking way, absolutely not.
Yeah. No, I
But
get that.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a
but
lot of fucking chuds out there. They're like, "Oh, this is bad. This
yeah,
is bad." And I always like talk to people sometimes when we talk about Star Wars and like, things like that. Like I'm not really the biggest Star Wars head, but it's funny.
yeah,
I talk to people like there are issues with the story of the later prequel
yeah,
things. There
yeah.
are there are a plethora of issues,
Yeah,
but like
absolutely. Like they're
why
flawed, but
so focused on like oh it's a woman. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay, cool. But there are some problems with the story. Yes. Like let's be mad at the fact that they let people get away with we're gonna have one director and then we're gonna change the director, then we're gonna bring back the third director. And it's like, okay, but we had a story we were trying to follow, but then in the third movie we just crammed it all together. It's like there's a problem
yeah,
there. But they would much
yeah,
rather see like
yeah.
it's
Nine,
a
nine was a
lady playing a
very
Jedi.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, okay, buddy.
Nine was a very reactional film, and
It was. Oh my
I'm
fucking
I'm
god.
really upset at it. Like, I mean, ultimately I still do like it,
Mhm.
but I'm I'm really upset with Disney that they caved to whiny fan bullshit.
Yeah.
They honestly should have just stuck to their guns and kept moving forward with what they had planned originally. Because, well, they did. I think they made the right move of getting rid of Colin Trevorrow as the director and writer,
Mhm.
because while the concepts and ideas he had for Episode 9 were cool and better than a lot of what they did in Rise of Skywalker, but he is a dog shit writer. So, like, I think his Episode 9, what we got, would have been worse.
Mhm.
But but like honestly, no matter what, it would have been missing something because of how he lost Carrie
Yeah.
before they got to 9,
Yeah.
because that was supposed to be like Leia's moment, or
Yeah.
like that was supposed to be Leia's movie,
Yeah.
because like 7 was for Han,
Han,
8
yeah.
was for Luke,
Yep.
and 9 was going to be for Leia.
Yeah.
So we lost a lot
Mm.
by
No,
losing
definitely.
Carrie.
Yeah.
And it's still trying to think about it, and like I still get sad because I when I was younger, I said some chuddy type stuff like, "Oh, she didn't age very well" and
Of
stuff.
course. I
But
mean, you're a
like,
dumbass kid, you know?
yeah,
It's
I'm a dumbass kid.
how
But
you grow up
then,
into someone you make now is kind of where it's at.
yeah, but then, shortly before they started doing the sequel trilogy and stuff, I kind of I realized that, and I tried getting better at it. And then, I don't know if you've ever seen this clip, but at the every year the American Film Institute, they grant someone a lifetime achievement award,
Mhm.
and one year George Lucas was the recipient, and Carrie Fisher was one of the presenters, and she came out and basically just did a whole roast on George Lucas, and it was the funniest fucking shit I have ever
Oh,
seen.
I gotta listen to that one. I don't think I've
Like,
seen that one.
yeah, you gotta find it. Like, you can literally just go to YouTube and type in Carrie Fisher AFI,
Mhm.
and you'll find it. But it's really really funny. And then I started finding out more about her online presence, and
Mhm.
like her just how she acted on Twitter. It was so fucking great. Just how she just um how she just completely like emasculates creeps and things
Yeah.
like that. I grew to appreciate her
Yeah,
so
she
much.
champions her role really well, I think is the what I'm
Yeah.
thinking of.
Uh, yeah. But yeah, Star Trek is really, really, really fun.
Mhm.
Um, I have a really good connotation with it because when I was really little, like toddler ages, um, part of our nightly routine with my family is, we would eat dinner, we'd, I'd wash up, get ready for bed, and then Star Trek reruns of the Next Generation would be playing.
Hmm.
And the last couple of seasons, because the show ended in like 1994, and I would just watch Star Trek every night with my parents, and we would do that. We did that through the TNG reruns, through Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So for like almost all the 90s, I was watching Star Trek almost every night.
I have a question really quick. So it's like I hear that I'm like Deep Space Nine, and then like
Yeah,
Next Generation and
yeah,
Voyager and something
okay,
else, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I don't know what any of those. I heard, like I said, oh, Deep Space Nine's great. Oh, but watch Next
it is.
Generation, and I'm just like, what's like? Is it the crude are different, or
Yes.
because I know
So
there's
you,
like what is it? There's like Patrick Stewart being
yeah,
the leader, Picard.
Captain Picard.
And then there's like of course William
So,
Shatner,
yeah.
and
So
there's like a third guy. I don't know.
okay, so I'll give you a bit of a
Give me like the
primer. So
'90s, yeah, or whatever one did.
yeah, so you have the original series
Hmm.
from the 60s, which was William Shatner as Kirk, Leonard Nimoy as Spock. So like Kirk, Spock, Dr. McCoy,
Hmm.
um, and Lieutenant Uhura, Hikaru Sulu, George Takei.
Hell yeah.
So you had 3 seasons of the show, and then the show got canceled. But it was very, very popular in syndication.
Mm.
And then Paramount was kind of trying to kind of hemming and hawing, trying to figure out what to do with Star Trek over like 7 or 8 years. And then Star Wars came out in '77,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Oh shit,
People
this
were
did really
like,
well.
"Oh my
We
god,
need to do a
sci-fi is
movie."
great. Everyone loves sci-fi."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy
Reactionary.
went and saw the movie, and he said to his wife, "I'm probably gonna get a call from Paramount within the next few days," and he did. So they did the first Star Trek movie in 1979, which which did really well, and it revived the interest in Star Trek. But the movie's good. It's very slow paced,
Hmm.
a lot of long shots, but it's gorgeous because there's shots of space and the Enterprise and the entity that they
So
tangle with.
really quick, just that's I was listening to people talk about it in a podcast, but it's so true. As you get older, you tend to appreciate those long,
Yeah,
like what is it, like setting shots where it's just like,
yeah,
I can't even think of the word, establishing shots where it's like, oh,
yeah,
we're it's just like when you're a kid and when you're younger, or you're just like, shooting and boobies and guns and
yeah,
kicking people in the face. Now it's
yeah,
like, bro, did you see how they fucking established how big the
yeah,
ship
yeah,
was?
yeah.
Like they brought it over.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Well, you
you,
gotta,
you appreciate it because it does like the world building, and you're like, I'm
yeah,
getting into the scene. Like they're bringing me in. They're not just going, which a lot of movies have, is this, so just get in here. It's like, no, no, no,
yeah.
lead
So,
me in, please.
yeah. So there is a scene that's cited in that movie that's given as like the prime example of why the movie's so slow. Because there's a scene where Kirk takes a shuttle back up to the Enterprise and died in dry dock because it's just been refitted
Mhm.
and all that. And the whole sequence is him just like floating along in the shuttle, just like looking at the Enterprise because he hasn't been on it in almost a decade.
Oh wow, okay, that's kind of sick.
So the context of the scene is just he's just looking at it, and there are these like long, beautiful shots, like the score, like the music in the score is so beautiful. So
Yeah,
it's
dude.
you have to think of the context of the show had been off the air for 10 years, and people are coming back and like seeing the Enterprise on a movie screen, like just the the feeling of that, like it made sense for that,
Yeah,
and I can feel that whenever I watch it because of how
bro,
how
you're
it's
explaining it to me,
composed
and I'm
and
like, hell yeah, let's go. I mean, in contrast
um,
to that, I mean, in all honesty, like, and maybe I'm off base here, is like, oh, we haven't had a Star Wars movie in forever, and then we go into the ship, and then, oh, look, it's Chewbacca and Han,
yeah,
and
no,
then that's it,
it's exactly like that.
and then that's it.
It
It's always, oh,
yeah,
hey, kid, I showed up. It's just like, ah,
yeah, but like
make us
the
clap,
feeling of
but it's
yeah,
not,
but like
it doesn't lead.
yeah, but the feeling, but
Yeah.
it's similar to how like everyone was feeling like in episode 7 when you get on the Millennium Falcon and then Han and Chewie come back. It's like that. When I started thinking of it like that, I understood.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did that movie, and then they did 5 more from like 1982 to 91.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you get like Wrath of Khan,
Yeah.
and Search for Spock, Voyage Home, all like that. And then in 87, that's when the Next Generation started airing, which was Patrick Stewart as Captain Picard. Mm-hmm. You got Jonathan Frakes as Riker, and then Michael Dorn as Worf, the Klingon, Data, Geordi LaForge. So, and they introduced a bunch of new species.
Mm-hmm. Jeez, Jake,
like
you're such a fucking nerd. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. Would be a good podcast if he wasn't.
Yeah,
this is great. I'm actually learning a lot. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and then Next Generation is where the Borg debuted. You've probably heard of the Borg, right?
I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when the Borg show up. That crew got 4 movies. They're all pretty good. Actually, I haven't seen the last one, but the first one is really good. The second one people don't like as much, but I still do. Actually, no, there were 3 movies. What am I saying?
Fact check this man. Fact check this man. Yeah. I take it back. He's a fake nerd. Worse. He's worse.
But as Next Generation was nearing its end, like, and it was in like its second to last season, that's when Deep Space Nine started airing. So Deep Space Nine is set on a space station called Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
It was a station built by another species that was occupying a planet of another species. So the station belonged to a species. I'm not making this up. They're called the Cardassians.
Yep. No, I've heard of it. No worries.
Okay, so the Cardassians built Deep Space Nine, and they're occupying a planet called Bajor. Now, the Bajorans had been
before anyone else joined,
under Cardassian rule for like 15 years, and there's been a lot of violent and armed resistance. And then Deep Space Nine is beginning just as the Bajorans finally push the Cardassians back and regain their independence.
Yep. So
they take control of Deep Space Nine and Starfleet, the Federation, like that's where all, and Federation comes in to help the Bajorans, clean up Deep Space Nine, and they make it an outpost in the area. So
would you say they help with the majority of the work?
Yeah. No. No, they're working together and, operating the station and watching over Bajor.
Yeah.
But near the station, near the planet, they find a wormhole that goes to another part of the galaxy that's mostly unexplored.
Mm-hmm.
And then they stabilize it, and it becomes a new hub of commerce in the galaxy.
All right.
So we see a lot of new species coming in onto the station and mingling, doing business, things like that. But we're still involved with the Cardassians. Like, they still show up. Like, we're still tracking somebody down here, like a war criminal there or a dude there. And they're still acting kind of shifty.
Yeah.
And which eventually leads to something called the Dominion War, which is a bunch of species from the Gamma Quadrant, which is on the other side of the wormhole, come into the Alpha Quadrant. And, there's like a big war between the Dominion and with Starfleet. And they lose a lot of the time. Like, the Dominion War is like really ugly. So
hey, that's great. Honestly, you tell me people like don't win all the time.
Yeah,
that makes a good fucking like story, because it's like, hey, we got in that, we got our asses kicked. Oh fuck.
Yeah, and
there's
Deep
stakes.
Space Nine.
They put stakes.
Deep Space Nine is cited as one of the better series because like the themes and like nuance it tackles, like it's like they talk about like really serious stuff, like slavery and occupation and like oppression and things like that, war crimes. It gets dark, but it's insanely good.
I've heard I've heard a lot about Deep Space Nine. Like that's why I asked it. I'm just like, I heard that's the one to kind of be like, yo, like it gets fucking
Yeah,
real at that one.
yeah. I'm watching through it right now, and yeah, it's really good. And
So
then
is it, does it
there's
take place, like I said, takes place on that ship you were saying, the Deep Space Nine colony
yeah,
ship,
the
whatever.
station. Yeah, yeah, the station. It takes
Station,
place
that's
on
it.
the station. Um,
Oh man,
you know, some
everybody be like,
characters.
"Latest fake nerd Ryan. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking
Yeah,
about." Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
some characters from Next Generation show up in it.
Hmm.
Worf actually gets stationed on there for a while, so he's there for like the entire back half of the series.
Hmm.
So, um, and then there's the other series I mentioned, Star Trek Voyager. Now, the story of Voyager is about a smaller Federation ship. Um, they get flung. I can't remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember how they get there, but they end up in the Delta Quadrant of the galaxy, which is very, very, very far from the Alpha Quadrant and everything else. Like at their maximum speed at warp, they're faster than light travel.
Hmm.
They're 70,000 light years from Earth. So
Okay.
it would take them 75 years at maximum warp to get back.
Yeah.
So that whole show is them just going around the Delta Quadrant trying to find whatever they can to get back to Earth faster. And they end up getting involved with the species in that area.
Which one's this
You
one
know,
again? Sorry, this is
Voyager.
Voyager.
This is Voyager.
Which one? I think because like from what I've heard people talk about, especially when it comes to Star Trek, is stuff like
Yeah.
that where it's like it's small scale in the sense of like we're in a ship, we got to take care of the ship. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, hey, we passed by this place and they're having some issues. Yeah, what's going on over here? And exactly like that, like, oh, there's like slavery going on. It's like, you want to do
Yeah.
something about that? And everyone's like, well, we're just trying to get home. So it's like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we can't really hang out and just,
Yeah. It's just like
well,
yeah,
it's been
dwindling
real.
resources and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
I've heard like
that was
it's a lot of like those kind of stories where it's not just
yeah.
we're here to save the world. The galaxy's under
Yeah.
attack. It's just, hey, we're out here doing our thing, and
Yeah.
fuck, what's going on now? Oh, the ship's under attack. Oh, we got to deal with this shit. Or
Yeah.
it could be just, oh, we're on the ship and this guy's really mean. Oh, and then it's this good
Yeah.
drama piece, and then oh shit, now we're over here. This guy, and I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool though, because I think I was telling my coworker at the time, he's a huge Star Wars guy, and I'm
Yeah.
telling him we really need to kind of bring it back and go with more small scale issues.
Yeah.
It's not just we have to save the galaxy every fucking time. Can we
Yeah.
just hey, there's an outpost. I think there's Imperials over there. Oh my god, they're trying to take over this whole this is the last bastion of
Yeah.
hope before all the Imperials take over. And it's a small scale issue as opposed to,
Yeah.
oh man, we're leading
Um
up to saving the universe again. It's like,
yeah, I mean, I've been playing through Star Wars Outlaws,
yeah.
and that's a good small scale story because you're just doing stuff amongst the crime syndicates.
Mhm.
Because not really a bounty you're not really a bounty hunter per se.
Yeah.
You're a mercenary.
Yeah.
But there's a cool mechanic where you build your reputations with the different syndicates.
Okay, sick.
And like in the story missions you'll be committing acts that will simultaneously like increase your reputation with one but decrease it with the other.
Yeah.
And if it gets to its lowest possible point, they'll like start sending death squads after you and
Oh,
stuff.
cool. That sounds like fun.
So my goal has been to get it at its highest with everybody, and then I start stabbing everyone.
In the back.
It's been fun.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you,
But
Jake. You're like nothing for nothing. You're really selling me on trying. Where do I even like begin? Where should I even begin when it comes to fucking Star Trek?
So
Sorry, I dropped something.
there's a lot of places. I mean, there are plenty of episodes that you can just pick up and watch.
Yeah, because it's like a syndicated show.
Yeah.
I might start with.
I mean,
if I do, I was thinking of
there-
starting with. What's the first one after with the one with Picard and shit? I mean,
The
fucking
Next
Patrick Stewart.
Generation.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Next Generation.
because then it'll be Next Generation. Then you said Deep Space Nine, and then
Phase 9 and Voyager.
I think that's kind of where I kind of feel where I want to go because the William
Yeah, each
Shatner
of
one sounds
those-
like fun, but I'm like I feel like let me just Let me not put myself
It,
too far
like
in the back.
if you want to watch some like fun, goofy
Like 70s
sci-fi
shit.
TV, yeah, like another thing I wanted to talk about Star Trek because especially with my connotation from my younger days, it just feels good.
Okay.
Like because it's why I've been hyper fixating on it like these past months because it's been like a cozy blanket for me
Mhm.
because I actually managed to recreate that feeling I had as a kid
Oh, you lucky
because
bastard.
like I came home I stayed I did some overtime one night at work so I
Mhm.
stayed 2 hours over so I got home at like 10:45 11 o'clock
Yeah.
and I turn on the standing lamp that I have. It's so I have low light in the room.
Mhm.
And I turn the TV on. I put Deep Space Nine on, and I just put like a blanket over my shoulders, and like that warm, cozy feeling. It just like slowly seeped in,
Oh, good.
and it just felt so fucking good. Because like the other thing with Star Trek is it's like yes there is action in Star Trek occasionally, but like it's a lot of dialogue. Like things are just happening. People are talking about stuff.
Yeah.
The
That's what I'm looking
story,
for,
it
honestly.
had yeah, it does have a score. But the sound mixing, it's not like boom boom. It's not like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's not like Star Wars where things are happening a lot. It's very low key, and you also have like the ambience
Yeah. I
of
heard what really makes it.
the bridge.
Yeah.
So there's like a low rumble and then like the soft beeping and booping of the
Yeah, that's what I
computers.
heard was really good about that was people are like, yo, as like someone who likes theater or like movies, they're on a soundstage.
Yeah,
They're not just, oh, here's one console that's real and everything else. He's like, no, things move, things make sound. Yeah, like you said, there's things
yeah,
just beep, there's lights going off because they
yeah.
built it all by scratch. And like I said, you can hear them like do do do, like you can hear their feet going because they're on a
Yeah,
stage, and you can hear the door open and slam. I'm like, damn,
yeah.
I you don't realize how good those things are
This,
until like you
yeah. The
realize how
sound,
good they are.
the sounds in Star Trek are very comforting.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, it feels good to watch and just relax. It's something you watch when you relax.
mhm.
Um, so that's what I've been doing with like TNG and Deep Space Nine. Now, like, do you have Paramount Plus?
No, I do not.
Okay. That's that's the easiest
Of course.
platform to get it all. But they have this cool thing where they have at least for next generation they have like a special playlist of like the episodes to watch.
Hmm.
Um, because there are iconic episodes and there's like um episodes that you watch if you like wanna like show it off to somebody and be like, this is what it's all about.
Uh-huh.
Um, so
I'm getting
there's a
excited.
two yeah
Like, ooh,
yeah.
okay.
So there's a two-parter titled "The Best of Both Worlds," and it's a Borg episode. So I mean it's a 30-year-old television show. I don't know if talking more would be spoilery, but do you know anything about the Borg or do you just know that they exist?
I just know that they exist.
Okay,
Because
so the
I
Borg.
say the difference is I don't know whether or not what they look like. I have like an idea of each like kind of
Oh, okay,
alien
yeah,
person, but I don't
yeah.
know
So
exactly what they are.
the Borg are a species. Well, it later on in like other shows it's revealed that they come from the Delta Quadrant, and they have um what they call transwarp. So transwarp is, as I understand it, is a way to um go anywhere. Like
Mhm.
they just tear a hole in space and they just go and they come out and they're just where they're like there's no point A, point B, go. It's just point A, point B, and they're there. So they come to like the edges of or
I, I mean, the best way I can describe it is kind of like the warp or the chaos warp, so to speak, in fucking 40K, where it's just
Yeah.
it's everywhere, and then it just opens up. We can't control some people can control it, but some people can't. I imagine the
Yeah.
Borgs can control it. So they're just
Yes,
like,
they
boom,
have
they
control
appear,
of
and
it,
it's like,
which is
fuck,
how
they came out of the warp. Disgusting.
yeah, it's how
Purge
they're
the
able to move through
Xenos, of
space
course.
so quickly.
Yeah.
Um, but
We
they
need a
are,
Psycha.
yeah,
Sorry.
they're
Sorry, I'm getting a 40K.
but they're a hive mind. They're cybernetic beings that are a hive mind.
Nice.
Um,
Scary.
they're they like when they encounter other people,
Mhm.
they say they have this whole thing. Um they say we are the Borg. Lower your shield, surrender your ship. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us.
Yes.
Resistance is futile. So
Then
they
they
take
capture them. They'll say, "Welcome aboard."
no, they
No.
capture them and then they begin they call it assimilation.
Okay.
So assimilation is they take them and like do this very like horrifying process
Mhm.
of doing so. Like they'll give them like cybernetic implants and
Mhm.
augmentations
Okay, it is the group I'm thinking of.
and
Yeah.
yeah and and the episodes the best of both worlds is okay so the
You're good. You're good.
Captain Picard gets captured and assimilated by the Borg
Mhm.
and bad shit happens and that's the best of both worlds parts 1 and 2
That sounds good.
and yeah and
The
that
best
was
of
for the
both.
longest time
Sorry.
the
Best of
and for the
both
longest
Borgs is what he
time
gets.
and for the longest
Sorry.
time that was like one of the best cliffhangers on television
Mhm.
because um the end of part 1 was
Mhm.
the season finale.
Oh man, what a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, like like my dad told me the story like because my parents and a few of their friends they watched it together like the night it aired
Mhm.
and they like were freaking out like when the episode ended.
Honestly, those are the things like you miss a little bit about the old ways where like we do this with movies now, which is
Yeah,
fine, like because of course, but like with television it doesn't really it used to happen a lot now, but now with streaming doesn't happen as much. It does depending if like, but I'm a big fan of, hey, we're gonna release a new episode every week because we
yeah,
want you to stew on something, and that is a
right,
perfect old school example of, oh, by the way, it's the end of the season, so we'll come back to you in about a year. So you're like,
yeah,
man, this is some bullshit. But then but honestly, that I feel like that kind of craft is kind of missed on some things because it makes you start to think. It makes you
yeah,
get hyped. It's like, oh my god, you come down for like 3 months and you're like, oh my god, and then the season's coming up. Oh my god, 6 months. You're like, oh, here it comes, and it gets up. Uh, that's one of those things. Like, damn, they really had it back then. It was good shit.
yeah. So so I'm like googling stuff right now
Yeah, no
trying to
worries.
see what's the what's the best thing to start with. Um, but yeah, a lot of people say the next generation is probably one of the better places to start because you can't really jump into Deep Space Nine
Yeah, no, I want
without
kind.
having the context of what happens in TNG.
Yeah.
Um, so the but the thing that I'll have to tell you is the first 2 seasons are rough.
Yeah.
Like they're still finding their footing. The actors are still getting comfortable with their
Mhm.
characters. But then like after those 2 seasons, it starts to get really good.
Yeah, don't worry, bro. Like I started One Piece, man, and like after like episode 500, you're like, yo, it's so good. I'm like, and after episode 500, yeah, it's just so fucking good. So no
Yeah,
worries. But I still find it funny that people say that. It's just like, yo, and yeah, I mean,
yeah,
but no, it's. I'm glad you said that because it's one of those things where, look, man, it's still new. At that time, they weren't like, yeah, man, I'm fucking Captain Picard, big dog.
yeah. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, they were
Um,
like, I don't know what's going on. Like, because like I said, a lot of these guys are, and a lot of these things are the start of it blowing up as much as it did. You know what I
mhm,
mean? So I feel like I kind of give it that whole, Star Trek is doing its thing. It's like it's finding its footing. They're going to be kind of like the front runners up until now, because people still, you see Sir Patrick Stewart, George
Yeah.
Takei, and you're just like, oh my god, it's these guys. You know what I mean? Even to this day, you're not like, you see William Shatner, you're like, that's cool. But you see fucking,
Yeah.
I can't even think of his name anymore.
Um.
But you're like, wow, those guys. So in my head, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I can like hold off a bit. But like I said, if it's a lot
Okay.
of, I'm just hanging out watching it. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. So I just went to Paramount Plus, and I found the iconic episode playlist
Yeah.
for Next Generation. If you want to give yourself a primer,
Okay.
so if you got like take this down somewhere in like your phone or
I always got my notebook nearby. That's why I wrote,
okay.
every now if anyone ever sees me on like the podcast, every now and then I'll always have a random pen near me. That's
Okay.
literally it. I'm always either writing shit down when I talk to people, and I go from
Yeah.
there. Because of course, like I
Okay.
want to be able to like fucking talk to people. It's always good to take notes.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right. So we have
gotta learn
the
all the
best of
lingo.
both. Yeah. So we have the best of both worlds,
Best of both
parts 1 and
boards.
2.
Okay.
Um. The So the next one is called The Inner Light. And then we have Yesterday's Enterprise. And then we have Chain of Command, parts 1 and 2. And then there's Darmok, just spelled Darmok.
Thank you. I was like Dark yeah, Dark Mark sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah. The Measure of a Man. Tapestry.
Okay.
And then All Good Things, which is the series finale.
So don't watch that one. Sounds good. So like you said, in any order except for all good, except for all good things. So they'd be like, man, we're all saying goodbye.
Yeah,
what's going on with this? I just started.
It's kind of odd. Yeah, it's kind of odd because the order they're all out of order episodes. Like
No, that's fine. It's just all fucking I don't know the fucking
yeah. So
DSL
like these
fucking
are all,
I don't know.
Yeah, these are all self-contained
Okay.
stories. In
Even better.
Yeah. So the only ones that have continuing stories are the two-parters.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Man, it'd be wild. Next time you're on the
it.
podcast, you're like, Jake, let me tell you. Oh my god, Jake, let me tell you.
But honestly, dude, like what like watch it with Shelby at night when you're down for the day and like winding down. Like make yourself a cozy environment.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it after dinner. And
yeah, it's kind of like what. That's why when he said it's kind of rough at the start, I'm like, no, that's perfect because sometimes, and I'll be real with everybody here, it's it may not be like the most because one thing is I'll be watching it and like I said at the end of the night, I'm tired and they'd be like, all right, I'm gonna in the first 3 episodes I'm gonna tell you everything that's extremely important. It's like no, don't do that to me. Just be like like, hey Spock, what's going on?
Yeah,
sick. So, it's like cool. Well, I'll look up. I'm like, oh, they're doing something neat. Yeah, no, I think it's pretty good.
It's a great show to watch like right before you go to bed. You're feeling tired and you just want to watch something to relax. Like
that's what I'm looking for. Thank you. That's literally. I was there last night. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna play my game, but I want something. But I also want to watch something, but I don't know what I want to watch. So I think this is perfect.
It's funny because I texted my father and told him about this. Like I was just like, I started watching Star Trek again. Like I started Deep Space Nine but I'm watching it at night when I'm tired, like we used to do. And he's like, that's so funny. I just started doing that with Next Generation like a week ago.
That's amazing.
I love
everything about that. I love everything about that. All right, Jake, I think that's a good place to end. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, you sold me on it. So hopefully I can back it up and watch a few episodes of it. So then the next time you come back and to be like, so Star Trek, let me tell you. Oh, dude, this has been a great nerd out session. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, or they call me Jakey. Thank you so much for joining me both these podcasts.
Yeah. Thanks for
Where we
having
talk
me
all
again.
kinds of nerdy shit. I'm happy to bring Jake back. It'd be great. Oh man,
I lost my video.
I would
Oh
say
shit! I kicked my thing.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships.
I think he's been taken by the Borgs.
Oh, there we
Rest
go.
in peace,
I'm back.
Jake. I don't think that's really Jake. I think he's a cyborg, Borg person. I don't know you, sir. You are not. I will not lower my shields. Fuck off.